As people grow older, the best approach to life can be distilled into one simple word. Out of 10 individuals who come across this message, 9 will have a moment of revelation, a deep realization that aligns with a timeless truth. Wang Wei, a famous poet, once captured this essence in his poetry. He wrote, "In old age, as all is consumed, one should not care about worldly matters." This reflection invites us to understand that as time passes and after one has navigated the ebbs and flows of life, material concerns lose their allure. The hustles and relentless pursuits of youth often lead people to yearn for peace in their later years. But as life mirrors the ocean's endless waves, disturbances in the form of worldly entanglements remain unavoidable. In the chaos and clamor of the world, how can one maintain an inner sense of peace? The key lies in the wisdom of simplicity, and the best way to live in old age can indeed be captured by one word: pretend. But what does it mean to pretend? It is not a denial of reality, but rather a conscious choice, a form of self-protection, and a tool for preserving peace. Pretending offers a path to serenity by allowing individuals to navigate life's complexities with grace and wisdom. First, pretend to be poor. This does not imply living in deprivation, but rather adopting an attitude of modesty. The writer Oscar Wilde once noted, "When I was young, I thought money was the most important thing in the world. Now that I am old, I know it truly is." His words reflect the shift in perspective that comes with age. In youth, financial struggles may seem manageable, but as one ages, the ability to earn diminishes. The safety net that remains consists of savings, pensions, and the hard-earned resources accumulated over a lifetime. As basic needs, food, clothing, shelter, and medical care, become more pressing, it is wise to manage these resources carefully. Living within one's means, especially in front of others, can be the difference between peace and unnecessary hardship. The choice to pretend to be poor guards against envy and greed, allowing one to avoid being the target of others' ill intentions. When one's financial status is hidden, there is less risk of people seeking to take advantage, of relatives or friends asking for loans, or of straining relationships due to money matters. Refusing to lend can create tension, and lending can lead to complications that may never be resolved, leaving both relationships and finances in ruins. In contrast, maintaining a low profile and pretending to be less well off can save one from these troubles. It is far wiser to choose discretion than to flaunt wealth. After all, there is an old saying, one should not expose wealth. As we grow older, the need for security becomes paramount, and the wise know how to protect their assets by keeping them hidden. Pretending to be poor is not a sign of shame or weakness. Rather, it is a form of wisdom, a recognition that contentment does not lie in material display, but in the quiet satisfaction of having enough. It is not what one shows to the world, but what one safeguards that truly matters. Money in old age is not a means of flaunting success. It is a lifeline, a foundation for security and peace. Second, pretend to be ignorant about family matters. In the complexities of family life, especially in old age, wisdom lies in knowing when to step back. There is an old Chinese saying, "If you are not foolish or deaf, you won't be the head of the household." This speaks to the need for elders to sometimes feign ignorance, allowing younger generations to handle their affairs without interference. Intervening in family conflicts may seem well-intentioned, but it often creates tension. When elders insert themselves into disputes, they risk being resented even when their advice is accepted. If their guidance is rejected, it can lead to long-lasting fractures in relationships. It is not necessary to address every issue within the family. There is often wisdom in letting things unfold naturally, allowing small problems to resolve themselves. By pretending not to see or hear certain conflicts, one allows space for resolution without escalation. This form of pretending is not avoidance. It is a way to preserve harmony and protect one's own peace of mind. Constant involvement in the affairs of others only serves to exhaust the elder and create unnecessary strain on the family dynamic. Some conflicts do not need resolution, they only need the passage of time. Moreover, this approach enables one to enjoy life more fully. Instead of being burdened with the challenges of younger generations, one can focus on personal well-being. Hobbies, friendships, and health can take center stage in these years. By detaching from the daily struggles of family life, elders can cultivate a carefree existence, enjoying the present moment without being weighed down by responsibilities that no longer belong to them. Finally, pretend to be weak in front of your children. The strategies of the warring states teach us parents love their children, so they plan for their future. In old age, it is natural for parents to continue caring for their children, hoping for their success and well-being. But there is a point where too much involvement, too much protection can backfire. Some parents, even into their later years, continue to dominate their children's lives, trying to guide their decisions and solve their problems. They may go so far as to take on the responsibility of raising grandchildren, performing household chores, and using their savings to help. However, this approach can deprive children of their opportunity to grow and learn independence. If parents do not know when to step back, they risk creating an unhealthy dynamic where children remain reliant and unable to fully develop responsibility. As the saying goes, if the mother is weak, the son is strong. If the mother is strong, the son is weak. Wise parents know when to pretend to be weak, to step back and allow their children to face their own challenges. This does not mean abandoning them, but rather allowing them to find their own way while the parents focus on enjoying their own lives. Pretending to be weak fosters a balance that benefits both the elder and the younger generations. In the later stages of life, true happiness comes from letting go of material attachments, of unnecessary disputes, and of responsibilities that no longer belong to us. Pretending to be poor teaches us to value what we have without flaunting it. Pretending to be ignorant helps maintain peace and harmony within the family. Pretending to be weak allows children to grow and mature, while giving the elder the freedom to enjoy life more fully. These forms of pretending are not about deception. They are wise choices, reflecting an understanding that happiness comes from within, and peace is a state of mind, not a set of external circumstances. With this wisdom, one can navigate old age with dignity, grace, and above all, serenity. As the years advance, embracing this attitude of pretending becomes not just a strategy for survival, but a philosophy for thriving. Pretending, in this sense, is not about masking the truth, but rather about simplifying life and shifting focus from what is external to what is internal. It enables the elderly to avoid unnecessary complications, both in their relationships and their own mental well-being. By practicing these forms of wisdom, one learns to live more freely, without the constant need to prove something to the world or take on burdens that no longer belong to them. Pretending to be poor is about embracing a life of modesty and careful resource management. There is no need to impress others or show off what one has earned over the years. Instead, it is about quietly enjoying the fruits of a lifetime of effort, while staying protected from those who might exploit such openness. This practice also helps shift one's sense of value from material wealth to the deeper richness of experience, relationships, and spiritual peace. In old age, the value of money is not in what it can buy, but in the security and freedom it provides. The ability to live comfortably, without financial stress, is a great blessing. Yet, this blessing is best preserved in the form of discretion and humility. There is more dignity in living quietly, with one's wealth hidden, than in flaunting it and inviting trouble. Pretending to be ignorant, particularly when it comes to family matters, is perhaps one of the most difficult lessons to learn. It requires wisdom to know when to let go of control, when to stay silent, and when to trust that others will find their way. This form of pretending is especially useful in maintaining harmony within the family. As an elder, one may see issues that arise among younger family members and feel the urge to step in. However, constantly mediating and inserting oneself into every conflict not only leads to resentment, but can also create unnecessary strain on familial relationships. Allowing others to handle their own issues while offering support from the background leads to more peace and less emotional exhaustion. This approach also fosters personal well-being. Instead of being consumed by the dramas and conflicts of family life, one can turn inward, focusing on personal growth, health, and happiness. Old age is an ideal time for self-cultivation. With fewer responsibilities, it is a chance to explore hobbies that had been neglected, engage in creative pursuits, and build meaningful friendships. It's a time to embrace physical activity, stay mentally sharp, and nourish the soul. Through this, one finds a renewed sense of purpose and joy that goes beyond family roles and obligations. Pretending to be weak in front of one's children, though it may feel counterintuitive, is another vital part of living wisely in old age. Many parents, out of deep love for their children, continue to carry responsibilities that should no longer be theirs. They might overextend themselves financially, physically, and emotionally, believing that they are helping their children. Yet, this can create an unhealthy dynamic where children become overly dependent, never fully stepping into their own responsibilities. Pretending to be weak is not about relinquishing love or concern for one's children. It is about giving them the space to grow. By allowing children to face their own challenges and make their own decisions, parents empower them to build resilience and maturity. At the same time, this practice allows the elderly to conserve their energy and enjoy the later stages of life without unnecessary stress. This balance is crucial. By stepping back, parents can enjoy their own freedom, and children learn to appreciate their parents more, understanding the sacrifices made for them over the years. It is in this way that a more fulfilling reciprocal relationship between generations is cultivated. The beauty of this wisdom is that it doesn't ask for grand gestures or radical changes. Instead, it invites a subtle shift in perspective. Pretending in these ways, whether it be feigning ignorance, weakness, or modesty, allows life to flow more smoothly without the friction caused by unnecessary attachments, disputes, or responsibilities. It is a practice of letting go, not of one's values, but of the need to control or prove something to the world. This detachment leads to a purer, more peaceful way of living. As we age, the question of how to find happiness becomes more pressing. Many believe that the key to a joyful old age lies in having everything figured out: finances, family relationships, personal accomplishments. Yet, true happiness often comes from a place of acceptance, from understanding that we cannot control everything, nor do we need to. Pretending is, in many ways, an act of surrender, a wise acknowledgement of the limits of human control. In this acceptance lies the freedom to live fully and joyfully, even as time moves forward. Through this lens, we see that pretending is not a form of deception, but a pathway to contentment. It teaches us to step back when necessary, to preserve our peace of mind, and to let go of the unnecessary weight that we often carry with us through life. It helps us protect what matters most: our health, our relationships, and our inner peace. As people approach their later years, it is not about withdrawing from life, but about approaching it with a different kind of wisdom, one that values simplicity over complexity, peace over conflict, and inner contentment over external validation. The lessons of pretending to be poor, to be ignorant, to be weak, are not just strategies for old age, but lessons for all stages of life. They remind us that sometimes the best way to live is not to fight the currents, but to flow with them, to embrace life with an open heart and a mind unburdened by unnecessary concerns. In these moments of pretending, we find our true selves. We discover that life's greatest joys come not from what we possess or control, but from how we choose to experience the world around us. We find happiness not in grand achievements, but in the simple moments of peace, contentment, and connection. This, after all, is the essence of living wisely and fully in the later stages of life. As this journey unfolds, let us remember the power of these subtle choices. In pretending, we protect ourselves from unnecessary harm, cultivate deeper relationships, and most importantly, nurture a profound sense of inner peace. Living wisely in old age is not about seeking more, but about appreciating what we already have, letting go of what no longer serves us, and embracing the beauty of each passing moment. With this understanding, we can move forward into our later years, not with fear, but with grace and joy,